Osho said that soulmate creation has to do with all the centers being aligned. And another word for the centers is the chakras. We don't need to actually use that sort of terminology if we're not comfortable with it. We could just talk about the centers, that there are different centers in the body. These are not actual physical things. These are, they're not actual physical things, although they do seem to line up with the endocrine system. But they, people of higher vision have been able to see that they're actually spinning centers of energy, and that they go up the spine, and that everyone is at different levels of development in them. So we're going to go into them just a little bit more, but that Osho said that what happens with soulmates is that the centers are all in alignment. So sometimes soulmates just meet each other like magic, and most of the rest of us have to do some work. So that's why this group is for both singles and couples, because the work is the same. Okay? We have work to do on ourselves to open up our own centers, and then we have the work as a couple to see how we get them in alignment. Okay? And most people are very, it's very normal to be more developed in some centers than others. Okay? Mainstream culture out there is really only concerned with the first three chakras. Okay, so the first center is about safety and aliveness. Okay? Whether or not someone even feels good about being alive. So someone who feels suicidal isn't strong in their base chakra because they maybe want to leave the planet. They haven't really, in this moment, they're not committed to staying here. Somebody who doesn't feel, someone who moves around a lot might not feel safe there. Someone who's had a great blow, something like this. There's a sense of rootedness and connectedness and committing to life. And the sex center is the genitals, basically, and around in here. It's also emotional. You notice, anybody else notice that emotion and sex are often connected? Oh no, we're cool. We don't have feelings. Then we have personal power. So a lot of reason we've had trouble in our relationships is because of the power struggles going on between men and women, between couples of whatever gender. We're at this power stage, power struggle stage. I was taught in graduate school that the power struggle stage goes on for 23 years. I don't know if that's true or not. I've never been in a relationship that long, so I don't know. But anyway, and if you look out in the world, what's going on is sex is going on a lot, not a lot of very healthy sex. There's a lot of struggles for power going on the planet, right? Who's more powerful, us or them? We're going to bomb you to prove you we're more powerful, etc. So a lot of power struggles on it. Some people think that the world is trying to wake up into the next center, which is the heart center. So as we're moving in our personal development, everybody in this room has got somewhat of a heart-centered opening. You can really notice the difference between people who are opening their heart center, living from the heart, wanting to spread love, and people who haven't gotten there yet. We're all trying to blossom more fully into that, I believe, unless we're Martin Luther King or, Mother Mary or something. We're still all working on becoming more loving. Then we got to the center of true speaking, and as we had in the meditation, most of us have large blocks, both from trying not to speak our truth because it's not going to be politically correct, trying not to speak our emotions because that person doesn't want to hear that I love them, not speaking because the corporate world certainly doesn't want to hear what we have to say. Most of us in here have been outsiders a little bit, so we know that we need to keep quiet about that, etc. Okay, so most of us are very blocked here, and I know in pickup it's like there's things you're supposed to say and things you're not, so people will be attracted to you. We've all grown up with that too since high school. Then we get to true seeing, and then we get to vision and philosophy and spirit and so forth. So everybody is blocked in certain areas, has room to grow. What you find a lot with, so I said the mainstream is mostly down here, a lot of so-called spiritual people are in what we call spiritual bypass. So their upper centers are open, very spiritual, praying all the time, meditating, fasting. fasting, pure vegan diet, but they don't have a job. You know, so their work is to develop their lower chakras. You got to get a job. You have to learn how to not tell the truth, because if you're going to be successful in social, things, non-intimate social life out at parties and so forth, and if you're going to be in the work world, you have to learn to not tell the truth, and you have to learn to do a lot of things you don't want to do to have a life. So everybody has got different things. So what happens is people come together, and one person wants a heart connection, the other person's at level at sex center, or the other way around, or we get into a relationship and we're stuck on the power center, or we're not able to speak our truth in the relationship. All of these things, we want to work towards getting these in alignment, and when we have these in alignment, and we can continue to grow these in relationship.